Have you ever felt like you're constantly chasing perfection, whether it's at work, in relationships, or even in how you present yourself to the world? Well, what if I told you that the pursuit of perfection is actually holding you back? Welcome to today's video, where we'll uncover the 3 hidden truths about being so perfect. Drawing from the groundbreaking research of Brené Brown, we'll explore how perfectionism is more harmful than helpful, and what you can do about it. Brené Brown is a researcher and storyteller who's dedicated much of her career to understanding shame, vulnerability, and perfectionism. Through her best-selling books, like The Gifts of Imperfection and Daring Greatly, she's helped millions of people realize that perfection isn't just impossible, it's harmful. So if you're ready to stop chasing perfection and start living authentically, let's dive into the hidden truths about perfectionism. Let's start with the first hidden truth. Perfectionism is not the same as striving for excellence. This is where many of us get it wrong. We often believe that being a perfectionist means we're committed to doing our best and reaching the highest standards. But according to Brené Brown, perfectionism is actually about fear and avoidance, not self-improvement. Think about it. When we strive for excellence, we're driven by a desire to learn, grow, and reach our full potential. We're not afraid to make mistakes because we see them as opportunities for growth. We're open to feedback because we know it can help us improve. Perfectionism, on the other hand, is driven by fear. We're afraid of what people will think of us if we're not perfect. We're afraid of failing, so we avoid taking risks or trying new things. We're afraid of being vulnerable, so we hide our true selves behind a mask of perfection. But here's the thing. Perfectionism doesn't actually protect us from these things. In fact, it often makes them worse. When we're so focused on being perfect, we miss out on opportunities to learn and grow. We become so afraid of failure that we don't even try. And we isolate ourselves from others because we're afraid to let them see our imperfections. So, how can you tell if you're striving for excellence or perfection? Here's a simple test. Ask yourself, what motivates me? If it's fear, then you're probably caught in the trap of perfectionism. But if it's a desire to learn, grow, and be your best self, then you're on the path to excellence. Remember, striving for excellence is about progress, not perfection. It's about showing up every day and giving it your best shot, even when you're not sure you'll succeed. It's about embracing your imperfections and using them as fuel for growth. So, let go of the need to be perfect and embrace the messy, imperfect journey of striving for excellence, because it's in those imperfections that you'll find your true strength and resilience. Now, let's move on to hidden truth number 2. Perfectionism is a shield, but it's a heavy one. In Daring Greatly, Brené Brown explains that perfectionism is a way of protecting ourselves from vulnerability. We believe that if we're perfect, we can avoid the pain of criticism, rejection, or judgment. But here's the thing. When you use perfectionism as a shield, you end up carrying a weight that stops you from fully living. Think about it. When you're constantly striving for perfection, you're always on edge. You're always worried about making a mistake or not measuring up. This constant state of anxiety and stress takes a toll on your mental, emotional, and even physical health. You might find yourself feeling exhausted, burned out, or even physically ill. Not only that, but perfectionism also prevents you from experiencing the joy and fulfillment that comes from living a wholehearted life. When you're afraid to be vulnerable, you miss out on opportunities to connect with others on a deeper level. You hold back from pursuing your passions because you're afraid of failing. You dim your own light because you're afraid of being judged. But here's the thing about vulnerability. It's terrifying, yes, but it's also the birthplace of love, belonging, joy, courage, and creativity. When you allow yourself to be vulnerable, you open yourself up to the possibility of experiencing life in a whole new way. So how do you put down the shield of perfectionism and embrace vulnerability? It starts with recognizing that perfection is an illusion. It's a standard that no one can ever truly meet, and striving for it will only leave you feeling exhausted and unfulfilled. Instead, focus on cultivating authenticity. Embrace your imperfections. Allow yourself to be seen, flaws and all. Take risks, even if you're afraid of failing. And most importantly, be kind to yourself. You're doing the best you can with what you have, and that's enough. Remember, you are worthy of love and belonging just as you are. You don't need to be perfect to be deserving of connection and happiness. In fact, it's often in our imperfections that we find our greatest strengths and our most meaningful connections. The third hidden truth about being perfect is that perfectionism is the opposite of resilience. Now, you might think that being a perfectionist makes you stronger because you're always striving for the best. But according to Brené Brown, it actually makes you more fragile. Why? Because perfectionists are so afraid of failure that they avoid taking risks altogether. They'd rather play it safe and stay within their comfort zones than risk making a mistake and feeling like a failure. But here's the thing. Failure is an inevitable part of life. Everyone experiences setbacks and disappointments at some point. It's how we respond to those setbacks that determines our resilience. When we view failure as a learning opportunity, we're able to bounce back from setbacks stronger and wiser. We learn from our mistakes, adjust our approach, and keep moving forward. But when we're afraid of failure, we avoid taking risks and trying new things. We become paralyzed by the fear of making a mistake, and this prevents us from reaching our full potential. Think about it. Every successful person you can think of has experienced failure at some point in their lives. They've made mistakes, they've fallen down, but they've gotten back up and kept going. They've learned from their failures and used them as fuel for growth. So how can you cultivate resilience and overcome the fear of failure? It starts with changing your perspective on failure. Instead of viewing it as a negative reflection of your worth, see it as an opportunity for growth and learning. Embrace the idea that you don't have to be perfect to be worthy of love, belonging, and success. Allow yourself to make mistakes. Take risks, even if you're afraid. And when you do experience setbacks, don't beat yourself up. Instead, ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? And how can I use this to grow? Remember, resilience is not about avoiding failure. It's about learning from it and coming back stronger. It's about embracing the messy, imperfect journey of life and knowing that you have the strength and courage to overcome any obstacle that comes your way. We've uncovered the 3 hidden truths about being so perfect, and now it's your turn to reflect. Now it's your turn. Here's a quick quiz. Do you often delay tasks because you want them to be perfect? Do you feel like mistakes are unacceptable, even in small things? Are you afraid to take risks because you might fail or be judged? If you answered yes to any of these, perfectionism might be holding you back more than you think. Let us know in the comments how perfectionism shows up in your life and what steps you're taking to overcome it. If this video resonated with you, hit like and subscribe for more content on personal growth, vulnerability, and mastering your mindset. And don't forget to check out Brené Brown's incredible work for more insights on living an authentic life. See you in the next video.